Hey everybody, it's Christy Consular, executive coach and founder of Sustainable Leadership Advisors. We help leaders live a life of great purpose, passion, and performance. Today I'd like to talk to you about why rejection can be good for you. Now, when I mention rejection, you probably cringe, right? Rejection feels painful. Let's face it, nobody likes being rejected. It's a core human need to belong and to feel like you have a place and that you're successful, that you'll be accepted. But here's the good news about rejection. It causes pain, and pain gets your attention. Your brain pays attention to pain more than to if you're comfortable, you're in a steady state. Your brain pays attention to threats or anything that gets in the way of security or feeling like you belong. Now, once the pain of rejection gets your attention, you have to figure out what to do about it. And ultimately, rejection comes down to two things. Either one, it's not a skill you possess, whatever you were going for it, you weren't skilled in going after it. Or two, it wasn't the right fit. You're not the right fit for it. So let me give you a couple real world examples so you can see what I mean, and then we'll talk about what to do to get over that fear of rejection. So let's say it's not a skill. Recently I was working with an executive client and she interviewed for an external job. So an external executive role would have been a larger role, different industry. Now she didn't get the job offer. The reason why was that she didn't adequately describe why she was a good fit for that role. That's what it came down to. She had all the experience, but she hadn't done her homework to really prepare her communications and her talking points around why her existing experience in this particular industry would apply in this other industry that was adjacent. It just wasn't the exact same industry. Now, she had all the skills to be able to do this job effectively, I believe, and she believes too. And her headhunter that she worked with believed that. But it ultimately came down to she wasn't prepared for some of the questions that she knew she was going to get. She needed to do her homework. And so that's an example of where she didn't have the skill in communicating that. There's one example of how a skill or a lack of having a skill can hold you back. And that's something that can get fixed, right? The second example is where it's truly not the right fit. And this is an example from my own past, distant past, but I remember when I was interviewing for jobs right out of undergrad, one of the things that I interviewed for was a job in IT consulting. Now, those of you who know me well would probably laugh at that. I am not the ultimate IT expert, nor do I aspire to be. I am not the kid who sat and tinkered in their garage by any stretch. But at the time, that was a job that was highly desirable. These companies were coming to interview on campus, and I thought, well, I should go for this job. It's what everybody wants, so I should like it. And when I interviewed, it became very clear in the questions that I was getting and how I was answering, it just wasn't the right fit. It was clear that I didn't have the passion or the interest and hadn't bothered to develop the skill set in my years in college to really excel in this career. And so at first I was disappointed, but that pain made me pay attention, and then I realized, thank God I didn't get that job. It just would have been a completely bad fit and use of the skills that I did have. I wouldn't have allowed me to play to my strengths. And so it's kind of a blessing in disguise. So those are the two things to look out for. Is it not a skill that you possess, but you can develop it? Or is it just not a fit and it's never going to be a fit? And this is helpful information to know. It's good to have that avenue closed off to you, because then you can focus on the things that are a good fit and where you can develop your skill set and shine. So if it's not a skill, how do I develop it? If it is a skill, but it's not the right fit, then just let it go and move on to something that is a better fit. The most important thing is that you get out of the pain of rejection and into action. I hope today's video served you. If you liked it, like it please, share it with your friends, and come on over to christyconsular.com and subscribe to our weekly newsletter. I share weekly career and leadership tips and strategies. Until I see you next time, go out and inspire yourself and the world with how you lead your life. The world needs your leadership. Thanks.